Hello, fellow dreamer, and welcome to my space. My name is Nikita Antoine, and today we'll be doing a message for the essence of Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus, I have done your spread today with my triple stack deck. It's the Ethereal Visions Tarot, the Dreamscape Oracle, as well as the Luna Tarot, all of them by Matt Hughes, so you'll be seeing all of them in your spread. So, Ophiuchus, just to begin your reading, I have actually cleared my table. I've cleared my table. So I usually have a plant and some coffee and a paper and my other phone and all of these different things that are on my table. Sometimes they clutter the table, of course, but it's I don't know, right before I did your reading, I instinctively cleared the table. So there's something about your message that has to do with clearing space, or maybe even perhaps clearing your calendar is what's coming through, making space for something brand new to come in to your life. So we will start off the framework. Okay, so there's also another reading that's coming up in my mind's eye, and it's not a Scorpio reading, it's a Sagittarius reading. And it's called, I believe it's called The Next Level, and it looks like maybe perhaps this has some type of correspondence to that particular reading. So if you have Sagittarius in your chart, or in whatever house it's in your chart, take a look at that Sagittarius reading, because I feel like there's definitely some correlation that is happening there. So at the bottom of the deck for your reading, Ophiuchus, we have the Two of Cups, and this is really gorgeous. We're looking at an underlying energy of harmony. An underlying energy of harmony. And what I'm sensing actually is that actually before this harmonious balance is to take place, there's a lot of dysfunction. It's coming through as dysfunction, or perhaps maybe even the clutter that's on the table. It's clearing out everything else, clearing out perhaps maybe all of the other cups that are on the table, and focusing on this pairing, some type of pairing. Maybe perhaps it's that correspondence or pairing that was between the Sagittarius and this reading. Very interesting. So let's look at the bridge and see where this is going. And we have the Empress that's showing up here. Gosh, there is such an overlay with that Sagittarius reading. Definitely check it out. If this reading is resonating with you, absolutely check it out, because in that Sagittarius reading, there was a support character that was acting as someone to reflect something off of. So that's what this Two of Cups is. It's reflecting back, perhaps the love that you are sharing with this Empress. It's this Empress is acting as some type of support character or support beam that is bringing you to the next level. And maybe perhaps this bridging energy, it's the bridge, right? It's this Empress is acting as a support beam for you to, in a sense, hang off of, because whatever it's looking as if she's allowing you to kind of stretch yourself off of her, and by doing so you're reaching some type of new enlightenment that's coming in for you. And it's her presence is almost acting as a rock, a rock for you to be able to cast yourself out into, I don't even know, into this Two of Cups. So it's casting yourself out into this love energy. into a shared, like a shared union or something along those lines. So let's look at the overall energy for you today, Ophiuchus. And we have the King of Swords that's showing up here. So there's so much like connection with all of the previous readings. So yesterday's previous reading was talking about, I think it actually showed up in the extended, but this was showing up in the Scorpio reading for yesterday. And it was talking actually about a pairing, about someone who is wanting to come towards you, Ophiuchus, with a message. And they've been trying to find the perfect way to deliver this message for you. So I think Ophiuchus, like maybe perhaps you are the one that is like delivering a message to Scorpio about whatever this is, because this is showing up here as your overall energy. So you're showing up here as the messenger. Okay, so that kind of actually changes a little bit of how I was viewing the reading. So because we are starting your reading off today with the Eight of Wands, which is the message. This is a message that has been it's been being cultivated for quite some time. It's now at the 8, right? So it's like there's been edits and revisions, and you know, what exactly do I say? Like how are you going to express this underlying energy of the Two of Cups, perhaps maybe to this Empress, to this support character of yours, Ophiuchus? And it's like you're trying to find perhaps like the perfect words to say. The King of Swords often comes through as like he's a master communicator, because of course it's of the air. So he communicates very masterfully. And it's like there's a sense here that because you are a master communicator, and because this message is incredibly important for you, Ophiuchus, it's almost as if it's causing you not hesitancy, it's not doubt or anything. It's just you're wanting to make sure that it's perfect. And I'm feeling that whatever this, it's like I can feel it even in my throat chakra. Like my throat is starting to kind of like dry up a little bit. Yes, the King of Swords is a master communicator, but he deals with the air energy. So that can come through like logic, just logic, really, rationality. Like there's a lot of just very kind of like a black and white, but it's very distinctive and straightforward. And whatever message you're trying to deliver, I mean, it's of the Cups energy. It's emotions, it's feeling, it's things that cannot necessarily be expressed through words. It's like it comes with like art form. So this is almost, it's kind of looking like someone who actually writes poetry. That's what I'm picking up on. Someone who is attempting to write a poem or something, but they because they are the King of Swords, it's very much out of their element. It's out of their element to express themselves in this type of way. And so that's what this is. It's like a brand new, like clearing the table for a brand new expression of yourself. That is very fascinating. So what I'm seeing here is your message hitting this one that is showing up here as the Hangman. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that in that Sagittarius reading, it's called the Next Level. the hangman was showing up as someone who was kind of hitching themselves over a support beam and pulling themselves up. It was like pulling themselves up into, oh, it was so long ago, into evolution, expansion, like a consciousness expansion. And as they were pulling themselves up, it's like this rope, it was coming through actually as a snake, was getting closer and closer to them. So the fascinating part here is that in that reading, the snake actually bit them, and that's what made them drop, right? But in this instance, what's happening is that your message of love, it's very surprising, actually. It's very surprising, shocking. It's like they were not expecting this message to be coming from you. And it's when it hits them, what I'm seeing is that they're actually dropping from their position, because it's something that is, I mean, it's just out of character. It's out of the norm for you, Ophiuchus, for you to even be expressing yourself like this. Okay, so what I'm sensing here is that they're in the hangman. So there's something that is, okay, it's coming through as like captive or captivating. Like they perhaps that maybe that's what it is. Like they're very captivating to you. And so when, or like there's some type of energy that has held them captive, and when your message comes through, it's almost as if it frees them from this captive space. It's like, or perhaps maybe it frees you from your captivation of them, because it's like this energy of the Two of Cups, of wanting to share some type of union with them, is holding you captive because they are so captivating. And so it's like the expression of this heartfelt message, one that is very out of the norm of your character, is almost in a sense actually like releasing both of you from like the ties. I want to say the ties actually that you hold to each other. It's almost as if you've both been holding some type of like a secret from each other, but it's like a good secret. It's like a almost as if you're expressing yourself in a way that perhaps maybe you have like a crush or something like that, and you're expressing that crush on them, and then it's almost as if like that opens the door for them to express themselves in a way. And what's really cool is that like right now we're going through the waning gibbous in Leo and in Sagittarius season, so maybe that's the tie-in for the Sagittarius energy. But that waning gibbous in Leo was really promoting us to express our heart. And so you might be finding, Ophiuchus, right now that you can't hold this in any longer. Like you can't hold it in. You can't hold in what your eyes are perceiving as like beauty. It's like the eye of the beholder. There's a message of the eye of the beholder is coming in. I often see this shape as a top-down view of an eye. And so you're holding them within your vision, and it's totally captivating you. So we move in to the artist, and you know, actually, Ophiuchus, this is your ruling card in this deck. And what I'm seeing here is you being so captivated by the one hanging from this tree. You can see the tree in the background. It's like you're stepping out. It's almost as if you're stepping out of the frame and you're viewing them from a distance. You're taking in what they're doing, you're taking in their actions. And their actions seem to be like casting themselves over a support beam so that they can lift themselves into expansion or some type of state of evolution. They're actually toying with, and this came through in that Sagittarius reading, they're toying with like spiritual ego. So you're watching them toy with spiritual ego. And there's something in that that is transfixing you. It's like, it's inspiring you to write, actually. It's almost as if they're acting as a muse. I feel like there was another reading that was talking about, I can't remember, maybe it was a daily message or something like that. But it's like they're acting as a muse for you, and because they're stringing themselves up on this tree and using this tree as a support beam, it's like you're able to see the interconnectedness between what they're doing and like the entire world. That's what it's coming through as the entire world, or actually kind of like a funneling down of that message is not necessarily the entire, well, it could be the entire world. Maybe it's like Gaia, like a Mother Earth energy. You're seeing the interconnectedness between that individual, the one who you are writing to, and their connection to Mother Earth or Gaia, or some type of divine feminine earthly energy, like a caretaker of the earth, almost in a sense like a Pachamama energy. So you're viewing them, and it's like you're receiving, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. It's like you're starting to receive insight about them. You're receiving some type of insight about them, almost as if you're reading them. That's fascinating. Like you're getting messages. Like this is Hermes. You're getting messages about them. And so we're finishing off the reading here with this, what is this? The Nine of Wands. And this is kind of playing a double duty. So everything that you are receiving about this individual that's kind of helping to craft a message that you can send to them to express the harmony and the love and the compassion and almost like that's interesting. It's coming through as like their duality. You're holding it and you're retaining it. It's behind you. 8 Wands, it's like it's behind you. And so I feel as though maybe perhaps you haven't yet sent this message because you're still wanting to bring it into some type of precise, it's like you're really wanting to make sure that it's perfected and it's precise. So you're showing up here as the Nine of Wands as, you know, really working at it. You're working it almost like if this is like a poem or something like that, it's like you're working the poem over and over and over again. Not in a way that's overworking it. You're just really wanting to make sure that the message comes through without any misunderstanding. That was coming through in that Scorpio reading that I just did. So yes, it's playing double duty, because what I'm seeing here is that once you release this message and it almost like strikes them and then causes them to fall down off this tree, You know, I'm actually seeing them, like, this is them after they've fallen, and they've got a little bandage over their head and all this thing. It's almost as if this message, this is fascinating. It's like this messenger energy that you are displaying is, they're falling in love with that. They're falling in love with the message that you are delivering. And so they're standing back up, and just like in that Sagittarius reading, please watch that Sagittarius reading. There are so many correlations to that reading. What I'm seeing here in that Sagittarius reading, this element here, this like rope, this swing, it came down with them. And when it came down with them, it was talking about now they're able to hold steady on this thing, and it's acting as like faith or something along those lines. Is like they can move forward in faith. And that's what it's showing up for them. It's like the message that you are delivering, Ophiuchus, is allowing them to move forward in faith. Oh, that is so beautiful. That is fascinating. I love that. So I am going to be pulling some more cards. If this resonated for you, I definitely suggest that you go watch the extended reading. The extended reading is going to be on my website. It is a membership program where you would be able to see all of the extended readings for every reading that I've ever done. So there's a huge archive over there, and hopefully I will see you there. Have a wonderful day.